Hi, Chris, chap in the cap, Motolegends. Something a wee bit different today. We're going to talk about not a new product, but about a custom motorcycle that we've had built for us by Foundry Motorcycles down on the south coast. So in a minute, we're going to go down and meet Tom, who's built the motorcycle for us. We're going to give it away to somebody who subscribes to our YouTube channel. It's all very exciting, but we've got to go jump in the van, go see the motorbike now. So here we are at Foundry Motorcycle in Tangmere on the south coast. Graham and I have driven down from Guildford to look at the bike. Very excited, not seen it for a couple of months. So let's go in, let's take a look and let's see what Tom has done to turn this standard Mutt into a Steve McQueen tribute bike. So here I am with Tom Simpson of Foundry Motorcycle. In fact, Tom is Foundry Motorcycle, and it's the Tom that we entrusted our little build. Now, the name like Foundry Motorcycle, it kind of suggests that Tom is one of those guys who actually makes stuff himself. He's not just an adder-on of bits, a screw-on of bits to bikes. Tom can pretty much make anything. I mean, looking at this bike here, Tom, just tell us a wee bit about this. It looks like a monster, but what have you done on this?
This is a 2006 Sportster 1200, and the customer brief really was to build a modern rideable Sportster-based bike that looked like an old school period Harley bobber. So I basically cut the bike back to its bare bones and have rebuilt it from there. Modified and rebuilt the frame, the swinging arm, fabricated all the bodywork, the fuel tank, oil tanks, fenders, handlebars. Used it as a bit of a test bed for some casting that I do, so I've cast air cleaners for it, foot plates. Yeah, a bit of a list. Wow. I'll make my own exhausts.
Yeah.
It
just looks gorgeous, that, doesn't it? So is this really one almost finished?
Yeah, this is pretty much finished, other than just putting a few more miles on it just to test it, because it's going back out to France. I need to make sure, obviously, that everything is finished, because it won't be coming back for a quick tighten up here or tweak up there. So yeah, got to put a few more miles. The weather's obviously been dire recently, so still waiting. But that's it. Then it goes off to France, and then I carry on with the rest of my builds. Well,
I suppose in comparison with bikes like this, our little build is kind of almost an insult. But it was good of you to take it on. But what we did with Tom, we brought down a Mutt bike, a pretty standard Mutt bike, and the brief was to create a bike that was in the spirit, kind of a tribute to one of Steve McQueen's desert sleds. He had a TR6. I'm not sure quite what the era was. It was mid 60s, but lots of pictures of him messing about in the desert on this particular bike. And we said to Tom, can you take this Mutt and turn it into a bike that looks a little bit like Steve McQueen's Triumph? So that's the bike we've got here. We're now going to go over and we're going to look at that bike. So this is the end result. We brought down to Tom a pretty standard Mutt bike. We'd taken the lights off because we didn't think it was appropriate. It wasn't the kind of look we were going for. And as I mentioned before, we asked Tom to loosely base this bike on one of Steve McQueen's desert sleds. And this is pretty much what we had in mind. So Tom, just talk us through it. What have you done? I know in your world this is a very simple build, but just explain to us what you did on the bike.
It's quite nice to do something not too involved for a change. To make it more of a desert style bike, gone for a new stainless steel high level exhaust, then taken off everything from the front to clean that up, put on an aluminium number board. Then the biggest single change would be the seat, new stainless steel seat base, trimmed it up in an old school 60s black vinyl. Then a good old clean up, some new grips, a once over, and there it is really.
Tom, listen, it looks the part. It's exactly what we had envisaged. I think whoever wins this bike, it's not intended as a road bike. I suppose you could, if you wanted to, you'd have to go back to Mutt themselves to register the bike, but we had seen this as just a fun bike for messing about in the field, for maybe taking it on the beach. Who's not going to love riding around in one of these? It's really simple and light. Anyone can ride one. No one's going to be overpowered or intimidated by this. It's just a lovely, cute little bike, and I think it makes for a great prize. One of the things, Tom, I suppose, is a 125. It's never going to sound amazing, but can you just power up and we'll just see or hear what it sounds like?
It sounds a little bit fruitier than from the factory,
I would imagine. So good, I think that's sufficiently allowed to annoy the neighbours. Just to recap, I mentioned in my intro earlier on that we're going to give this bike away later in the year. Not got an exact date, but it'll be before Christmas. All you have to do is to be a subscriber to our YouTube channel. So don't worry, if you're already a subscriber, you'll be entered. But if you're not a subscriber and want to stand a chance of winning this lovely little bike, then, as they say, click on the button down below. So Tom, listen, thank you very much indeed. It's a lovely little bike.
My pleasure.
I'm now regretting already having to give it away, but some lucky little beggar's going to end up with this bike, and I hope have a load of fun on it. So Tom, thank you, sir.
No problem.
So we hope you like the bike. We think it's amazing. We think Tom down at Foundry has done an amazing job creating what is in effect a Steve McQueen tribute. We're going to give the bike away, as we've explained, to a YouTube subscriber later this year. We haven't agreed a date, but it's certainly going to be before Christmas. If you're already a YouTube subscriber to our channel, then you're already entered. But if you're not, then maybe you should subscribe and stand a chance of winning that bike. It's an amazing bit of kit. We're very excited about it. If you come and see us in the shop, the bike's going to be here, so you can come and have a look at it. But my view, click on the button down below, become a subscriber as soon as you can.